Hi friends, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Caitlin. For those of you that are not new here, my face is happy that you are seeing it again. And today I am finally doing my video on the Oden'S Legendary Diversa collection. It is a collection they did, a collab collection that they did with 3 different influencers. So we have the Hummingbird palette, which was in collaboration with Fancy Face, the Giant Woods palette. Oh my god, I cannot speak. The Giant Wolves palette that was in collaboration with Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, and then the Red Dragon palette, which was in collaboration with Judy. So yeah, I will make sure to link all of their channels below. They have, each of them have a bunch of videos with their palettes, with the palettes from the other influencers in this collab, so you should definitely check all of them out. And if you are curious to see the 3 looks that I did and hear my overall thoughts on these palettes, then you should go ahead and keep on watching. So I do have a wig on. I actually really want to dye my hair to like look like this, but I can't because I need to keep my hair like the exact blonde shade that I like up until my wedding. So I bought like 4 wigs that are like darker, like brown with like chunky highlights, or like these money pieces. So yeah, anyways, that's what we're doing as far as hair goes today. As far as makeup goes, I have not used the Giant Wolves. I've had a chance to play with both the Red Dragon and Hummingbird palettes. I have not had a chance to play with the Giant Wolves palette yet, so I think that's going to be the one we go with first. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me prime my eyelids. I'm going to use the Shake Primer from KVD Beauty. So I want to try and do something different, but I also don't want to. I kind of want to do a dark lip, so I'm sort of tempted to keep it relatively light up on the top. And so I kind of want to do like the same style of look that I did in my last video. And I'm sorry in advance, but I've just been having fun doing that, so I'm going to do it again. So first I'm going to start with a angled, it's like an eyebrow brush. This is a BH Cosmetics 107. I don't think you can buy like individual brushes from BH Cosmetics, but anyway, it looks like an eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go in with the shade Annihilation, which is this like, I think it's a black. We're going to create, yeah, it's a black. We're going to create a wing using this shadow. And I'm going to, ooh, I kind of am just feeling this wing. This is a nice pigmented black eyeshadow. I forgot what I was going to say before that. I mean, I kind of just like how that looks. I'm just going over where it was just a tiny bit patchy. Anyways, I'm gonna do this on the other side and try to not just like call this a day at this like eyeliner shape. I don't know if it's just like with this hair. I'm not sure why. I'm just like, oh yeah, that looks great. Done. I think if I clean those up, they'd be even. But anyways, I am not gonna let myself just call it a day on the black shadow, but you could just, if you're afraid of liquid liner, this is a really nice black shadow. Could just do a shadow liner with it. You could even run like, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is then smudge that out with the shade Cosmos on my Petite Smudge Brush from Sonia Kashuk. Oh wait, do I want to go Cosmos or Howling? Okay, we're gonna go Howling actually. I just lied. I feel like Howling's a little bit darker. And I'm just gonna run that over where we put that black. So yeah, now I'm gonna take a slightly fluffier brush. This is the Morphe M152 brush, and I'm gonna take the shade Cosmos. I'm just gonna put it at the tip of my brush. I don't really want it to go like super high, if that makes sense. I mean, at this point, this really is just like a smoky eye. So much for me keeping this light up top. I don't know really what I was thinking, but we didn't stick to it. Now I'm going to take a fluffy brush with no shadow on it. This is the Cash Beauty, this is just a fluffy crease brush, but I'm just gonna diffuse my edges and bring it up into the crease a little bit so that it's not like just totally, like, do you see the difference there? It says in the crease a tiny bit. So now what I want to do is, well, a lot of things. All right, I'm going to take the shade Eternal, and I'm going to take this not on a fluffy brush, or not on a wet brush, on a dry brush. This is the BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. It is flat, so it's also not fluffy, but okay, and I'm going to pack that over. And what I'm trying to decide is if I want to go into Haiti and Skull, and I think I do. I mean, I think this could be pretty if I just took this exact shade like over the whole thing. I think that could be really beautiful, but I want to use more shades. So we're going to go to Haiti. And we're just going to blend those together. I've been really into like really messy, shimmery looks lately. I don't know what it is. But I haven't been into like the cut creases. I've just wanted like sparkle kind of all over the eye. However it pans out, I'm kind of happy with. So one more flat brush for the last one. We're gonna go into Skull, I think is how you say that. This is a Morphe M124, and I'm just tapping that on the outside edge, but I also kind of smudged it along the lower lash line since it's the deeper of the shimmers. Felt like it might work better. Just kind of smudge down there. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's just kind of like a shimmery explosion all over my eye. And I love it. All right, I'm gonna go back in with Haiti and tap over this side more, just a little bit to make them a little bit more even. Okay, and then we're going back in with that Cash Beauty crease brush, and I'm just using it to soften up the edges again. What I'm gonna do is clean up the lower lash line, put my face makeup on, and essentially just come back to do the lower lash line with you. So I will be right back. Okay, so I know this is not the most perfect lipstick application, but I wanted to try out one of the new Kaleidos Cloud Lab lip clays. Let's get this lower lash line going. I still need to do my lashes, but wanted to do the lower lash line first. So we are going to go in with that same eyebrow brush we used earlier and the shade Annihilation, and just, I don't think I'm going to take that all the way in, just about like halfway. Okay, and then we're going to take Howling on that same Petite smudge brush, and we're going to go right over where we just put Annihilation to blend it out, and then we're going to go a little bit further into the middle, or inner portion. We're beyond the middle at this point. And then we're going to go in with that same Morphe M1, was it this one actually? The Morphe M152 and the shade Cosmos. And again, going over where we just put Annihilation and Howling, but blending it a little bit more. And then I'm going to take that big fluffy Cash Beauty brush, and I'm just going to slightly blend out those edges. I'm okay that I still have some sparkle on this brush, and it's kind of getting everywhere because I really want this to be a, I don't know, like messy look. Now let's do the inner corner. I'm going to take, this is a ColourPop L1 brush, and I think I'm going to try the shade Astral as the inner corner shade. This is not wet. Just trying this out dry. I will say Oden'S shimmers are really easy to use. Like, you don't have to wet your brush, and like that's what they look like. So if you're somebody who doesn't like wetting their brush, I feel like these shimmers are really nice, but at the same time, I'm also okay with like glitter fallout being everywhere, which is really all wetting your brush kind of helps you avoid. I'm really feeling this vampy look, so I'm gonna do lashes and then I will come back for like the full final look. Okay, so my audio cut out on this, but this is the final look. And I think I'm just asking you guys what you think, and then also saying that so far I really like this palette. There's a close-up. And yeah, that's really it. Again, just saying that the mattes are nice, the shimmers are nice. I think I'll give full final looks or full final thoughts later. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on into the next look. Okay, so if you have not seen this palette yet, because I know this video is going to go up pretty late in the grand scheme of these palettes launching, but this is what the outside of the palette looks like. And then here is the inside. So what I'm thinking is doing like a shadow liner situation with Red Hills and Hibiscus, and then putting Fancy and maybe even Swallowtail like as like shimmers like going into the inner corner, but like having this be more blank space because I want to do a red lip. I do have red on my shirt, so I feel like the red lip will match, but I don't want, like whenever I do a red lip, I don't want to get too crazy with my eyeshadow, you know, because I feel like the red lips, like I just feel like you veer into clown territory quickly with red lipstick and like heavy eyeshadow makeup. Not that it can't be done, it's just difficult to do. So we're gonna start, oh, first things first, I have primed my lids with the NARS smudge proof or tinted smudge proof eyeshadow base. So I actually am gonna set this. I don't normally set my eyeshadow base with powder, but I'm actually gonna do it this time because I'm like only gonna do liner, and with me that transfers to my crease like really easily. So I'm gonna try and combat that by setting this primer. Okay, so I have my NARS tinted smudge proof eyeshadow base, and now that is set with me Tatcha oh nuts silk powder that I just got all over my black pants. No. Okay, whatever. All right, so taking an angled eyeshadow brush, well, it's an eyebrow brush because it has a spoolie, but anyway, I'm taking this brush in the shade Red Hills. You can see I still have some what is it, eyelash glue residue, but anyways, I really wanted to do like essentially the same look I did with the like the same type of look that I did with both the Nomad Haunted Europe palette and the look you saw, or maybe, I don't know what order I'm putting these in, so maybe you haven't seen it yet, but the look that I did with the Giant Wolves palette. But I was like, no, you've been doing that a lot lately. We gotta mix it up. All right, so I feel like I created like a decent wing. I do want to blend this out because I don't want it to be like sharp. Like I kind of want it smudged out and messy a little bit. So trying to see which brush will best accomplish that. All right, we're gonna use this It Brushes for Ulta. It's a smudger brush. So I think for someone who's wanting to smudge out the winged liner, it sounds promising. And we're going in with the shade Hibiscus. It's like a very bright, like vibrant red. It's like almost like a pinky red. We might have taken that up too high. So I'm actually gonna just completely do this eye all at one time and make sure that I like how it looks before I just go ahead and I'll do the other eye off camera. But now I want to go in somehow with like Fancy and Swallowtail. All right, I'm gonna take, this is a ColourPop brush that I got for free because there is no number on it. It's just like a flat shader brush. I'm just grabbing Fancy And I am just tapping that all in this inner corner here. Some of this is going to get cleaned up when I do my face makeup. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of swallowtail on the other side of that brush. And I'm just going to bring that in like the littlest bit. I don't know if I love this, but what I'm going to do is clean this up. Well, I guess you can watch me clean it up right now. I just like to take, this is like a micellar water from Lancome, but really any micellar water works. I take it on a makeup eraser and I just go underneath, kind of fold it in half to create a sharp line. And I just follow where my lash line is and create like that sharp line. I mean, I like it more now that it's cleaned up. I'm gonna go back in with Red Hills and just deepen this up a little bit. Yeah, okay, I think that'll be nice with my red lipstick too. It's a lot of red, but I will do the other eye, do my face makeup, come back for the lower lash line. So this is the part I'm a little nervous about, and I forgot to put something in my waterline, so hold on one second. Okay, now I'm back. Anyways, I'm a little nervous for this part because I feel like I'm gonna try and smoke this like red underneath as well. And I'm a little nervous about how that's gonna go. So taking that same eyebrow brush and the shade Red Hills, and I'm just connecting with what we did up top. Like that. Oh, and by the way, I put ColourPop Red Rock in my waterline. Oh, so there's a lot of red. Okay, so now we're going in with Hibiscus on that same It brushes for Ulta, the smudger brush. That's smudged out and looks okay, but I kind of want to soften it a little bit. So I'm going to take this Morphe M330 brush and I'm just going to run that with no product or anything. I'm just trying to soften those edges. Do we see kind of the difference? I feel like this type of look is maybe better with a color that's not red, because I feel like this kind of like red situation just always makes me feel like I look sick, you know? Okay, I'm gonna take, this is a ColourPop E10 brush. I'm gonna go in with Fancy again and just build up that inner corner and hope that when I slap some lashes on here, that makes up for it. Okay, so I still need to do lashes and my hair, and so I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so I made a really funny joke about how I look like Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance because of the red eyeshadow, but the audio cutting out on this clip also ruined that joke. So anyways, I'm just talking about how I think I just built up the inner corner a little bit more from when you guys saw it last, and I like the look. You know, the red eyeshadow and the lipstick match pretty well, and I think I'm telling you that I used Fiamma from Kaleidos. That's the Cloud Lap lip clay. Here's a close-up of the look. I don't know why it's like all hazy on my camera for this shot. I think maybe it was overcast that day or something. I'm not sure. I'm pointing out that my look matches my shirt and so do my earrings. But anyways, yeah, we'll go ahead and move on into the next look because I'm going to share my thoughts on this palette at the end of the video, so we don't need to talk about it again right now. I have obviously just put my hair on top of my head so we could get this look started. I'm gonna do a look that I saw on like Carla Cosmetics page. They did it with purple, but I'm feeling like for this palette we could do something similar with the greens. That's my thought. So what I want to do, I'm gonna use some things outside of the palette too, although I think you might be able to accomplish it with the palette. But I want to start with this gel liner in Wallflower from Melt Cosmetics, because I feel like with the cream products it's going to be a little bit easier for me to create the shape I'm looking for. So I'm just taking this as a Glam Vice. I think they're Javisi Beauty now? Javisi? No idea. Anyways, this is the GV12. Also, I did buy this mirror from Makeup Revolution. I have not, oh, and you might be able to see it. I got the, it's the turkey head palette, but I'm not ever gonna use it. I bought it more for like decoration. But anyways, okay, so, oh, and I primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-hour eyeshadow primer. I used this primer forever ago, and then I stopped using it for some reason. And one of you recommended it when I was saying I needed a new eyeshadow primer in a recent video, and I was like, you know what, let me buy that one and try it out, and it's been working really well. So I'm not sure why I ever stopped using it in the first place. In this picture, they kind of bring this, it's like a halo eye, but they sort of bring the liner up a little bit. And this is all going to be blended out with the shadows. So I'm just trying to get like a gist of the placement. And I know this video is up, like if you're watching this, I appreciate you, because this went up very late. I just decided that I wasn't gonna rush this because I've been trying to do like reviews of all my stuff, but because this collection had 3 palettes, it took me a little bit longer, and I've been really enjoying these palettes, so I can at least give you, like, I've used all of these palettes more than just the one look you're seeing, so I can at least give you full thoughts at the end. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the shape. They smoke it out a little bit more. So I think I can show you guys just this one eye and then replicate it on the other eye at the end. Okay, so then I'm going to go in with our Red Dragon palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Jade, and I want to use a somewhat fluffy brush, but also somewhat not huge, if that makes sense. I want like a small fluffy brush. This is the one of my Cash Beauty brush. It's not clean. Okay, this isn't perfectly clean, but it's close enough. Okay, I'm taking, this is a Cash Beauty brush. I don't think there's a number on it. Going in with the shade Jade, and trying to blend this green a little bit more. I'm trying to purposefully leave this open. These shades were actually more different than I was picturing them to be, if that makes sense. So maybe you couldn't do this look unless you had like a green liner, or if you have, I mean, you could do like one of the darker browns instead of the green liner, which we might do like a little line of the brown, but it would just get the same sort of, just wouldn't be entirely green. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? I don't know. This is one of the Melt Cosmetics. This is a Melt Cosmetics Round Detail Mini Brush. It says number 26. I'm going into Aurora, and I'm just running that closer to my lash line to just deepen that up a little bit. Just adding like the tiniest bit of depth to it. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush with no product on it. Okay, so this is my tapered blending brush, the E35 from Sigma. I don't have any shadow on it. I'm just using it to diffuse where we placed Jade earlier. So now what I want to do is go in with Solar Flare. I'm just going to take it on my finger. I'm going to tap that all over the lid. Well, sort of all. It's okay if it's a little bit messy because I can go back in with that liner, but I am trying to not purposefully get it all over the liner. And I want to bring it up. Oh, I want to bring it up into the crease. You guys probably wanted to actually see me do that. Okay. And then I'm going to take that same Sigma brush, just kind of blend it out. Let me see. I think I'm going to go back in with that melt liner just on the bottom part, since I covered that up a little bit with the shimmer. So this is the shape that the Carla Cosmetics Instagram posted, but theirs was a little bit deeper. Going to go back in with Aurora. I'm carrying the giant mirror, and I should probably just use this little one. Oop, in here. Overall, I think I'm really happy with that, so I'm going to recreate this on the other eye, do all of my face stuff, and then I think probably come back just to do lower lash line, and then I'll come back to share my final thoughts on all of the palettes. So I obviously put in some extensions, finished my makeup, put on some dark lipstick. This is Queen of the Night. This is a Kaleidos Cloud Lab lip clay. And yeah, okay, so, oh, and I also did the Lethal Cosmetics Ectoplasm gel liner in my waterline. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to take that same Melt, oh my god, my desk is a mess. I'm going to take that same Melt Cosmetics brush and the shade Aurora, and we're just going to run that along the lower lash line. Now I'm taking the same Cash Beauty brush and the shade Jade, and I'm just going to go over where we just put Aurora. I think I'm going to actually bring Aurora more into this inner tear duct area, just so that it kind of all connects like that. And that was maybe a mistake. Okay, I gotta do lower lash line, and then I will be back to talk about my thoughts on the collection overall. So here is the finished look. What do you think? Now that you've seen all three looks, let me know down below which look was your favorite. I don't know which look was my favorite, actually. I think it's either this one or the look I did with the Giant Wolves palette. But I also really liked the look I did with the Hummingbird palette, because that one was like a fun, like liner, like easy. You know, it was a little bit easier, but it was still fun. So anyways, I can't pick a favorite, but let's talk about these three palettes. So first things first, I did keep the outer cardboard packaging on mine, because Oden'S does this thing where like their actual packaging is this like, it's just that weird, like almost like a sandpaper type texture. And I don't like the feel of that really, or I don't know, that just something texture wise bugs me about it. But starting with the, well, I guess I have the Hummingbird palette open, so we'll start with my thoughts on this palette. Overall, I think this palette is really fun. This is the shade Fancy, I think is the special shade, like more of the multi-chrome shade. And I used that like a little bit in the inner corner, and it was pretty, but I haven't had a chance to like really use it. But all of the shimmers in this palette were amazing. The mattes were incredible. I love this color story. Yes, it's really bright, so for like what I'm wanting to reach for right now, I'm not grabbing this one as much, but it is fun to do like the fun pops of like bright eyeshadow looks amongst all of the like grungy, dark, you know, fall type of looks. Anyways, okay, next up is the Red Dragon palette. I really like this palette. I think this is a very interesting neutral palette. The only shade I have not used in this palette is the shade Dragon, but I've keep wanting to use these like more neutral shades. And then with it being like a neutral palette, the shimmer shades are still interesting. Like Luna is the multi-chrome in that. And then also, I mean, look at Solar Flare on this eye. It's not technically a multi-chrome, but it's definitely has like almost like brown and green, like greeny gold reflex to it. And I think with having that Aurora shade on, which I just realized the Aurora shade got a little too far into the inner corner, but anyway, having the brown and green mattes around it, I feel like really make the shadow pop on this look. And so anyways, I really like, again, great quality of mattes and shimmers. And then lastly, the Giant Wolves palette. I thought this one was going to be my favorite going into it, and then every time I use any of these palettes, they become a new favorite. So I can't decide what my favorite is, but I love this palette. I love the way the look I did with it turned out. What I'm realizing I really like about Oden'S Eye shimmers is they're not like super opaque metallics. They're like sparkly shimmers that you can go really light with them and make them almost appear like a topper shade, or you can kind of, like, I patted this one with my finger and obviously I got like a full opacity on it, but if you look into the crease, like, I blended it out and it's not super opaque in the crease. So anyways, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I really like the palettes. I really like the Oden'S Eye formula quality. Just don't like the texture of the packaging. But if you were thinking on these and you're undecided, I think you should go for it. I feel like all three palettes have very different like color stories. So if you weren't sure, like if you didn't feel like you needed, like if you were nervous about getting all three because there would be overlap, I don't think there really is, other than I think like maybe they all have like a dark brown, almost purpley shade, but beyond that, like even that, I didn't really notice a ton of overlap amongst the palettes. Other than that, I would say if you're not sure which one to get and you only want to get one, I have no recommendations beyond just whichever color story speaks to you the most. I think all of the palettes have really great quality. And yeah, that is the extent of my review. So let me know if you did pick up these palettes down below, especially if you're another YouTuber and you've done some videos. I would love to see the looks. Definitely mention that in the comments down below. And yeah, that's it from me. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.